Help support AMTV by becoming a patron, an AMTV staff member, and following us over on Twitter.
Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to another episode of the Now Review. And for this instalment we're going to be taking a look at two compilations based off anniversaries for the Now series, specifically Now That's What I Call Music 25 years, and Now That's What I Call 30 years. So yes, I am aware these aren't the only two albums that celebrate anniversaries of the Now series. There are others, but these are the two I have in my collection, and I do want to talk about them. So without further ado, let's take a look at the first, which is Now That's What I Call Music 25 years. So Now 25 Years was released in 2008 to commemorate, of course, 25 years of Now, as it started in 1983. And here's the cover art. You can see there's the old iconic pig from the 1980s that was used for a while. Nice to have included him there. And you've got in these screenshots here little snapshots of all the Now albums over the years, or a lot of them anyway. There it says 3 CD. Now, of course, what you'll notice on the spine, this is, of course, a fat box CD, as they were called back then. So double albums, or compilations, 3 CDs. A lot of them come like this, you know, in the nice fold-out style. This is actually a proper sort of jewel case. So there's the title, split across two things there. And let's have a look at the back. So here's CD1, so we are starting in the 80s with Queen, I Want to Break Free, and we scan down here, so you've got things like Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel, It's a Sin by the Pet Shop Boys, all very 80s stuff right there. And on CD2, we fast forward into the 90s, we get more 90s based titles there, and finally on CD3, start in the 2000s. So this CD is actually very clearly defined by each decade, the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, which I think is a really nice way to separate them. There's not too much crisscrossing, there's not too much favoritism over one or the other, although I will say that the 2000s have a few more songs. These have 19 each, this has 22, wonder that was about. The AMTV, but all the information obviously came out in 2008. I must say as well, a lot of people don't like this sort of fat box style, but there's kind of a nostalgia to it because this is how CDs used to come in, and I'm amazed in 2008 they were still putting them out like this. But let's take a look inside. So here is the first disc in a lovely red with silver engraving. Obviously, as you can see, all the Now covers are in the back there, and of course it comes with a booklet, which we'll have a brief look at in a moment. And there is CD2 in silver with red trimming, and here is CD3 in a sort of black greyish with red trimming. Not the most ingeniously designed, but you know, they serve the purpose, don't they? Here is the little booklet. Let's see if I can open this with one hand. So that is all the tracks on this compilation to begin with. The next page, there you go. There is all of the Nows released up to that point. So there's Now 1. It's going all the way across, all the way down here, right up until Now 71, which was released in the Christmas season of 2008. And there's the pig. And there's disc 2 and 3 for good measure. So a pretty simple book there. That's saying some credits for that there, and then thank you for buying this music and for supporting the artist, and then you've got copyright law, So nothing too special in there to mark anything, but nevertheless it's a nice little booklet to have. So overall, what is there to say? Well, again, I do like the fact that each disc is a very specific decade. I do think they're missing some standout Now hits. I mean, the very first song on the first Now, I Can't Hurry Love by Phil Collins, is here. I was about to say it isn't, it is, it's further down. Yeah, you've got a lot of iconic songs there. You also have Michael Jackson's Thriller, which never actually appeared on a Now album originally. It appeared on the Hits competition series. But yeah, it's a very solid track list, a lot of good hits here, and a very solid album. Now, where to get this? Well, you can't find it in HMV anymore, anywhere like that new, as it's 10 years old. So your best bet is probably somewhere like CEX or a second-hand retailer. I actually got this off eBay for really cheap. It was only about £3.50 or something like that. So if you can find yourself a copy, get your hands on it. And now we move 5 years further down into the future for this. Now That's What I Call 30 years. So having a look at the cover, this sort of looks like a 20th Century Fox sort of thing, doesn't it, with the spotlights and that. 30 years, and the pig is acknowledged again. You've got him as balloons flying around, including one with some trendy sunglasses, and there is the spine. Now That's What I Call 30 years with the pig once again. Nice that they keep the pig featured a lot. I bet a lot of younger Now fans will have no idea what the pig is. Anyway, CD1 starting off with Billie Jean and some Madonna as well, panning down. So again, this is all 80s songs to begin with, creeping into the 90s there with Sacrifice by Elton John, and then Take That and the Spice Girls. Moving on up, you have Angels by Robbie Williams, so we've got more 90s stuff. And of course, we start creeping in to the early 2000s. And CD3 starts with Adele's Rolling in the Deep, so now we're getting into the 2010s gradually. And we finish off with Gangnam Style. Of course we do. This came out in 2013, obviously to celebrate 30 years. Not as formatted as 25 years. CD1's sort of 80s, 90s, CD2's 90s, 2000s, and this one is late 2000s, early 2010s. But I can kind of forgive that because now you're trying to incorporate 4 decades and there's only 3 discs, so it makes sense mathematically. Let's take a look at the inside, shall we? So like 25 years' booklet, we have a pan of all the Now albums released starting from Now 1, but of course now we go all the way down to Now That's What I Call Music 84, which was a spring release in 2013, so this came out around the summery time. But that's a really nice tableau, I think. I do really enjoy this artwork. Right, there is disc 1, blue with a gold trim. There's disc 2, sort of a reddy with a gold trim. And there is disc 3, purpley with a gold trim. Again, not the most impressive discs, but they're fine. You have a nice picture here that says, Now That's What I Call Music. And for people who don't know, this is the image that the designers were inspired by at Virgin Records originally to name the album. This was a piece of artwork, and that's where the pig comes from, of course, that titular pig for the first few, so that's a nice little acknowledgement of their history there. And hidden away, for anyone who picks this up, is a booklet. Yeah, and many of these Now 3 discs don't come with booklets, but this one does. So here is the booklet for Now That's What I Call 30 Years, and we're going to open it up here. Here's Running Will Never Be the Same Again, the only app you need to create the perfect soundtrack to your run. Don't know if I ever downloaded that. The Now story. So this is a bit more expressive. I'll hide this here. So this is basically explaining how they got the idea to do it, how they got the idea for the artwork. There you go, the 1920s poster ad. The second page, when you open it up here, just explains it a bit more. Explains how we get to where we are now, which is Now 84 at this time. Now That's What I Call the 30 Years. Are you the #1 Now fan? And this was for your chance to get your name printed in the artwork for Now 85. I never knew if that actually happened. And on the 3rd and 4th pages, you actually have some facts, which I really love because I love my trivia. So there you go. You've got some facts about how Now 76 holds the record for the most amount of tracks on a Now album, how they've been released on a bunch of different formats, how many tracks have appeared, how many weeks they've been at the charts. And Now 100 is due to be released in 2018, and even back then they planned this out. That is correct. Now 100 is actually coming out in the summer. Hooray! At the time you'll see this video, it will only be 17 days to go. And on the back you have an advert for Now 85, which is out on the 22nd of July, which I'm sure most of you watching this would own by now. But that is the booklet for Now That's What I Call 30 Years. And overall, guys, that is Now That's What I Call 30 Years, the album. Again, a pretty solid track list. Obviously, it's got more bang for your buck. There's more variety of years covered and all that sort of stuff. This was £5 from CEX. Again, you're probably going to go second hand to find this nowadays. Out of the two, I think I slightly prefer 25's track lists, but I do like the booklet inclusion with all the information in 30 years. So maybe, well, they're not going to do a 35 years, are they? Because Now 100's coming out. Maybe that'll have a lovely informational booklet in it as well. But that's all for this instalment of the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and comment on the video, share it around with your friends, and until the next one, I will see you guys next time.
Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Jen Samantha Pringle, Hooks Media, Ben Freeman, Ethan Carberry Holt, The Welsh Lady, Bruce Danton, The Broken Kitsumanoid, and Cooking at Nans and DIY, our AMTV staff members.